Good morning. My name is Umberto Mucci. This is We the ItaliaNews, daily podcast regarding Italy under coronavirus times. Today is Monday, June 8th. The number of new coronavirus infections in Italy continues to fall. Yesterday, 197 new cases have been recorded, about 70 less than the day before, and the number of victims of the day is also falling. 53, the lowest number since March 2. Yesterday, there were 6 regions with 0 new cases and 11 regions without victims. Marche, Campania, Trentino Alto Adige, Abruzzo, Umbria, Sardinia, Piedmont, Valle d'Aosta, Calabria, Basilicata and Molise. 3 weeks have now passed since May 18, when almost everything in Italy reopened, and we can say that there have been no negative repercussions. Let's just hope that the many participants in the rallies held in Italy in these days, where almost no one respected the safety distance, will not lead to a resumption of contagions. Of course, it is more than right to be able to express our ideas, but it does not make much sense to impose very strict rules on restaurants, hotels and other facilities when people are rallying in the streets on top of each other, literally on top of each other, without even half the distance they should keep. Let's hope that we won't pay this. Italy is no longer frightening and, on the contrary, is considered around the world as a COVID-free, hyper-monitored and reassuring country, according to the research on the web published by ENIT, the Italian tourism agency. At the end of May, there were more than 753,000 citations on travel in Italy, 50,000 of which on the web and 703,000 from social networks. The web research on tourism in Italy produces over 300 million views. The great cities of art, Rome, Venice and Milan, have the largest volume of citations. From all over the world, people have started dreaming about Italy again, and I'm betting that you are too, and they can't wait to go back there, to come back here. And Italians can't wait to welcome foreign tourists. We are still several months and many political steps away from understanding whether Italy will really be able to spend the 172 billion euros that is entitled to, according to the plan presented by the European Commission. But even if they were all available, and let's hope so, would Italy actually be able to spend that money? The relationship between Italy and the European funds has always been problematic. Municipalities and regions often do not advertise enough the way they use European funds to repair hospitals and schools, get businesses started, or support young professionals. In 7 years, from 2014 to 2020, the European Union has distributed 643 billion euros in funding. Italy, after Poland, is the second country to have received the most resources, 75 billion. At the end of the last year, Italy has spent 35% of the funds, while 73% had been allocated, but the European average is 85%. Worse than us are just Spain and Luxembourg. The minimum spending targets have been reached and exceeded by all the programs, but we are talking about allocated resources, not yet spent. It means that the administrations have planned budgets, but the work has not yet started, and these are data related to the 7-year budget that ends this year. The problems, especially at regional level, range from difficulties in properly writing programs to the frequent turnover of councillors and managers who are dismissed, transferred, promoted, and some even arrested for corruption. But the main problem is bureaucracy and delays in administrative and civil justice. Between very complicated procedures and 10-year appeals, Italy is stuck, even if there would be money to spend, and Europe is not to blame. 5 days ago, President Sergio Mattarella awarded 57 Italians for their merits during the coronavirus epidemic. Starting last Thursday, every day in my video I am mentioning some of them. Today I am mentioning Rosa Maria Lucchetti, cashier at the supermarket in Pesaro in the Marche region, who left a letter to the 911 operators giving them also 3 prepaid cards of 250 euros each to do the shopping. Ambrogio Iacono, professor at the Professional Hospitality Institute in Ischia in Campania, positive to coronavirus and hospitalized, he continued to teach at a distance during his days in hospital. Daniela Loverde, principal of the Giovanni Falcone Institute in Palermo, Sicily, launched a fundraising campaign to give food shopping to some families in difficulty and an appeal to recover PCs and tablets from all over Italy to allow her students to follow lessons at a distance. Cristina Avancini is a teacher from Vicenza in the Veneto region who, despite her expired contract, has not interrupted the video lessons with her students. Alessandro Santoianni and Francesca Leschiutta are the director and the head of the nurses of the nursing home in the province of Pordenone in Friuli Venezia Giulia, who, together with the other employees, have remained living in the facility for all the lockdown to protect the elderly guests. Piero Terragni, entrepreneur from Monza in Lombardy, following the death of an employee, Erminio Misani, who was leaving his wife and 3 children, hired Misani's wife. Riccardo Emanuele Tiritiello, a student from Milan, with his father and grandfather, cooked for free for the doctors and nurses of the Sacco Hospital. Francesco Pepe, when he had to close his restaurant in the province of Caserta in Campania, prepared pizzas and biscuits for the poor and elderly in need, organizer and fundraiser for the hospital in Caserta. And finally, for today, Irene Coppola made, at her own expense, thousands of masks. She helped an association for the deaf by inventing a transparently breathing mask. To all of them goes our strong thanks. They are an example of the best of Italy. It's all for today, it's all for now. Please stay healthy, stay safe. Do not underestimate the virus. It's not over yet, and it won't be over for months. So please stay safe, take care of yourselves. This was We the ItaliaNews from Rome. My name is Umberto Mucci. Ciao, see you tomorrow.